So welcome. Today we're going to do a Pilates session. So I'm going to be using obviously a mat. You'll need also maybe a couple of hand towels that you might want to use for placing underneath the head or adding a little bit of padding when side lying, etc. And also your water. Okay, so we're going to start off with a warm up on the mat. Then we'll go through into our exercise in our main phase and finish off with a little bit of stretching and mobility section as well to finish. Okay, let's get started. So coming onto your mat, stretching the legs out. Okay, we're going to begin just by rolling down carefully through the spine. If you can't do that, turn to the side and come onto your mat safely. Bringing the legs into a bent position, so the knees are pointing towards the ceiling. Have the arms up by the shoulders if you wish to, or out, stretched out along the floor. From here we're then going to just begin to roll from side to side a little bit, just getting a little bit of rotation through that mid-spine. Remember to keep the eye line looking at the top. So as we're travelling, think about drawing in through the belt muscle and just thinking about the breathing, allowing the shoulders just to relax as you just perform that gentle movement. So it's not the knees going straight to the floor, it's just a gentle little roll from side to side. Keeping the breath flowing, inhale, exhale as you travel through that movement. And then slowly just begin to increase the range of motion if you feel happy to. If you've got any kind of spinal conditions and more so like osteoporosis, be mindful you don't go all the way through in that rotation, it's just minimal rotation. Alright, just working side to side, allowing the legs just to take and flow through that movement. Good, then bringing the legs in towards the chest, we'll work through the hips. So we're going to just start to roll the legs around in circular patterns. So you're trying to make sure that the legs are nice and relaxed and that it's the arms doing the works, just circling through the legs. As you come in, you can just gently pull them in on an exhale and inhale as the legs go out and round, just working through those hip sockets. Then reverse that action, going round the other way as well. Breathing in, breathing out. You'll also find you'll have a little bit of movement through your lower spine, a little bit of flexion, extension, or back to neutral here. Good, and then from there, just bring the feet back down flat again. And we're going to just allow the arms just to come up towards the ceiling. Now, any shoulder problems, just keep the arms bent, so you just start with small ranges of motion. If the shoulders are fine, you can begin to increase those circles, taking the arms right behind you if you wish to, all the way out along the floor and back down again. So you're just getting a nice stretch and you're working through the whole range of motion through that shoulder joint. Just breathing in, breathing out as the arms go out and around, and then you're going to take them in the other direction as well, just flowing the arms past the hips, along the floor, around behind the head and back down. You can really stretch the arms behind the head, that's fine, as long as it doesn't irritate that shoulder. Good, and then from there we're just going to slowly just work through, just through a few knee raises, up and down, just working through. So inhale to prepare, exhale to lift the leg. Just working through, bringing the leg a little bit over towards you, or you can just keep it at that tabletop position at 90 degrees of the hip and the knee. Draw the ribs towards the hips as you breathe out, so the ribs aren't flaring up towards the ceiling. And then from there, we're going to work to double knee fold. So basically, you're going to bring inhale, exhale, right leg up to tabletop. Inhale, exhale, followed by the other leg slowly and carefully. Right leg goes down and left leg goes down. So again, repeat again, coming up and then going down. And then switch it over to the other side, up, up, down, down, very carefully, as if you're just kind of walking on ice. So it's nice and strong through the core, holding the notch of the belt in towards the spine. Good. And then from there, coming back towards the body and the arms, and you're going to just stretch the arms away towards the heels and breathe in, exhale, lift up, and then softly go back down. So some little abdominal curls. So you want to avoid having the legs too close because it will tuck the pelvis under. Lifting up and going down. Breathe out as you lift to pull and inhale to come down. Good, one more in your own time. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into the shoulder bridge. So make sure the legs aren't too far away and that they aren't too close to the buttocks. About fist width distance apart through the legs. And then from here, you can keep the feet flat on the floor, or you can come up into a little bit of a heel lift. We're going to start to just curl through that lower spine. So if you've got blood pressure concerns, don't lift the hips all the way to the top. Just a nice little curl through that spine. Just working through. If you feel that you're getting any cramp through the hamstrings as we go through this exercise, just take a little bit of a stretch through the back of the hamstrings for 30 seconds each side. Now, as you're curling off, you want to feel that the buttocks are beginning to just work a little bit to lift those hips and gently coming down. Trying to make sure that the heels are staying as if they're trying to come into the center. You want to avoid the heels moving out to the side. So the foot stays in line with the shin bone. Breathe in, exhale, curling up. And then coming back down. Then you can start to add in the arms if you wish to. You can bring the heels back down if you feel it's too much. Arms coming over, stretch the arms behind you, roll down through the spine and bring the arms back towards you. And then breathe in, exhale, curling up, heels off or heels down. Arms going over the head, stretching through, easing the body back towards the mat, and then bring the arms back through. Inhale again, exhale, curl up, squeezing through the buttocks to lift, pushing the knees away from the body, keeping the shoulders down and stabilized as we gently roll through and then back down again. And then again we can work through, lifting here and just working through some heel lifts if you prefer, 1 or 2 at a time, entirely up to you. We can take a couple of reps up there, place the heels back down and then come back through. And again, deep breath in, curling up through the spine, working one at a time or taking both heels up and down, keeping those buttocks fired up to keep the hips raised. Good, and then curling back down. So picking any one of those adaptations or progressions that you like, lifting through the body, heels up or down, arms going over the head or staying where they are beside the body, curled through the spine, and then gently bring the heels and the arms back to the mat. Deep breath in, curling up through the spine, squeezing through the peaches of the buttocks, lifting high, heels off, arms coming over, curling through the spine, weaving it evenly, both sides back to the mat, heels releasing, arms coming back beside the hips. One last time, inhale, exhale, curling up, squeezing through the buttocks, knees in line with the hips, heels off, arms over, stretch through, stretching through the ribs as we come through the chest, arms releasing off. Let's take our hamstring stretch each side, so just taking the leg towards the ceiling, one leg, feeling the stretch through the back of the leg. If you wish to, you can extend the bottom leg out along your mat and just feel it. Flexing through the ankles, so the toes coming towards the nose, so we start to stretch also down through back behind the knee. And then release off and go to the other side. Again, nice gentle stretch. Holding softly, toes relaxed. If the stretch is too powerful for you, or toes towards the nose just to feel that stretch through. And then release down. And before we move on, just take a little bit of a soft roll side to side just to relax through the spine. Okay, we're going to come around now and we're going to go into our side lying position. So from here, Find a comfortable position on your side. And we're going to go into torpedo. So for torpedo, the arm's going to come over the head. If you need to, add a bit of padding for your hip bone. Feel the length through the spine, and then just begin to use the arm and the leg coming up and down. So we can just feel that little bit of lift through the body, and then inhale as you come back to stretch through. Exhale to lift, inhale to come back, exhale to lift, inhale to come back. You can lift both legs if you wish to. You've got a little bit more intensity, or keep the bottom leg down. Stretching away through the body as you come back towards the mat. Inhale through, drawing in the belly button in towards your spine, keeping the shoulders as away from the ears, not as close to the ears, but away from the ears as you possibly can. Lengthening up, coming through, contraction of those side oblique muscles. Inhale as we come down to stretch. Good, keep traveling through that movement. And then when you're ready, just gently coming back down, and we're going to move into the side kick exercise. So this is where you can keep one leg slightly bent underneath, or you can challenge yourself with a fully stretched leg. You're going to swing the leg forwards as far as your flexibility will allow, and then you're just going to gently take it behind you. So again, if you're working on balance, like myself, I've got my bottom leg straight, you may not be able to fully bring that leg right forwards. So that's fine, you're just working through back stability, core stability, little pulse there just to challenge that balance. Breathing out and breathing in as the leg comes back. Just finding that balance through. Remember, you can bend that underneath leg if it feels a little bit too wobbly for you today. We're just working through. And then if you've got the leg bent, you may be able to increase the range of motion as that leg swings through towards your nose. Good, and then when you're ready, we're going to complete that last one. And then we're basically going to come round onto all fours. So up onto all fours. Remember, if you've got wrist issues or knee issues, to have a little bit of padding underneath the hands, or come up onto the knuckles with the thumbs free. And from here, just checking you've got room around you, that you've got not any drinks or anything in there, sliding the leg away along the mat and drawing it back in. And then over to the other slide. Smooth sliding action. So you've got to imagine you've got something on your lower spine. If you wish to make it a little bit harder, slide the hand out, lift the leg. And then come back in towards you. Inhale, exhale, gliding out. And then back in. Keeping it nice and steady as we flow through the movement. You can then also begin to add, taking the arm and the leg away from the center, bring it back in. So you can do that quite a few times, just to challenge that core stability. Feel the length through the arm, through the body to the foot, all the way out, lengthening out and back in, out and back in. Thinking about those glasses of water on the spine, keeping them nice and steady. Good, switching sides. And then again, gliding out, lifting through, stretch through the arm, stretch through the leg and the hand. So it's one long stretch from fingertips to toes. Switching over onto that last side. Nice and stable through the spine, lengthening out. Allowing the breath to guide the movement. So exhale and inhale. Good, slowly release. And then just gently come back into a child's pose just to relax off. Take a few deep breaths here. Just allowing the body to release. And slowly coming up and taking the head in the other direction now. So following me here. So again, stretching out, starting with the torpedo on the side. Stretching the legs away, holding the core strong as best you can. Taking the top arm over. So we start with just the arm and the leg. just lifting, and just remember you might always have one side that's a little bit easier than the other. Just working up, finding where you can move to. Then we can start to introduce the head. And then stretching away, so it's exhale up, inhale out and down. You get that little bit of a stretch through the body as you come back to the start position. Good, and then from here we can start to lift 2 legs if you wish to, just to make it a little bit harder, coming down. Or just go back to keeping the head on the mat if you're finding that the neck muscles are just aching a little bit too much. Keep that flow going through the body, exhale up, inhale down, ribcage drawn down, shoulders nicely stabilized as we travel through. Last one. And then we're coming on to your side kick. So again, the underneath leg can be bent or it can be straight. So we're going more for a challenge of core stability and balance here if you are working with the leg straight. Remember, the leg can't go very far behind you, so don't try and swing the hip forward. Keep it very small, that movement, with the hip extension. Pulse, pulse, and breathe in as the leg goes behind. We're trying to keep the shoulder down. If you notice that the shoulder rolls forward, then just place a block underneath the hand just to raise the shoulder up a little bit and stop it from coming forwards. Good, and then from there, we're going to move into, okay, coming onto our back. Relax the legs down and we roll round onto our back. So from here, we're going to come into the 100 exercise. So again, this can be done with one leg. If you're going to work with one leg, make sure you breathe in for 5 and out for 5. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times on one leg and switch it over to the other leg. So I'm going to start with the 2-leg option. So I'm going to bring one leg up to tabletop, followed by the other leg. Keep the abdominals drawn in, rib cage down, shoulders nice and long and lengthened away from the ears. If you wish to, extend the legs away, and then a little bit further away if you wish to, but it all depends on how that is going to take effect on your spine. If you feel the spine arching, you need to bring the legs closer in towards the body. So from here, keeping the head up or down, you breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you need to stretch through the backs of the legs, then you can flex the feet, okay? Or you can just allow the feet to relax where they are. If the neck aches, keep the neck down and maybe soften off the knees a little bit so it doesn't pull so much through the body. Keeping that arms long and reaching towards the opposite side of the room. Breathing in for 5, breathing out for 5. So try not to let the head hang back. Try to use the abdominals to bring you up as much as you can. Breathing in for 5 and out. Stretch the legs as much as you can. Working through the heels if you wish to. And then when you're ready, into the single leg stretch. And the head side to side if you feel any tension through the neck. And then we extend. And you're just switching the legs. So you've got one leg coming in towards you and you get this seesaw effect through the pelvis, keeping it nicely balanced. If you feel it's too much, just take the leg a little bit higher. And if you wish to progress, just bring the head up. Good, squeeze the buttock as the leg extends. So you've got some work going through that leg. Again, remind yourself, it's okay to come back and place the head down if you need to at any time. Let's take 2 more each side. And then bring the knees in, soften off. Allow yourself to relax through the neck. And then from here, we're just going to just slowly move into a little bit of a rock from side to side with the body. Once deeper stretch, take the arms out along the floor, keep them bent as you just rotate through the spine, nice and slowly, just working fluidly. If you wish to extend the top leg, you can do, just to take a little bit of a deeper stretch into that side oblique part of the body. Good, and then therefore we're going to move into a little bit of a butterfly stretch. So just allowing the legs to open. If you feel any pulling on the spine, just place the hands or a towel underneath the top fleshy part of the buttocks, opening out, a bit like the wings of a butterfly opening out, and just holding that stretch there. So now you can begin, as you're performing that stretch, you can begin to focus on breathing into the chest. So you're really beginning to lengthen and contract and stretch the diaphragm as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out. So again, you're breathing in this way, and then where it all connects through to the lumbar spine, the diaphragm, and then has a connection through to those hip muscles, your hip flexors. And then from there, just slowly bring the knees into the chest, soften off through that lower back, slowly circling the hips out and around. And then just gently hold them there, just the knees heading out towards the shoulders. When you're ready, we're going to come out onto a side and just stretch through the hips and the thigh a little bit more. So if you can't reach the ankle, get a towel and wrap the towel around the ankle, and then you can slowly take the knee away from you and pull the ankle up this way. If not, take hold of the ankle and then just gently draw the knee away from the body, bending the underneath leg. Also, if you've got lumbar spine problems, keep the spine in neutral and just allowing that knee to move away. Just stretching through the thigh, breathing in, breathing out. Just being aware of that stretch. Feeling it down through that middle part of the thigh. Maybe up into the hip a little bit as well. Good. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up, swing the legs around and still facing the camera, and then coming onto the other side, again grabbing hold of your towel, placing it around the ankle, so then you can draw it up towards the hip and you can push the knee away, or taking the hand around the ankle to pull the leg in towards the buttocks. Again, feeling the stretch down through that mid part of the thigh and possibly a little bit into the hip as well. Underneath leg is bent, so we can help maintain a nice neutral alignment through the spine and avoid arching through that back. And when you're ready, so slowly coming up to seated, taking a little bit of a stretch behind. You can cast the hands, stretch through the chest, draw the hands down towards your mat. So you'd look something like that, just to open out through the chest. Breathing wide and full. You can raise the head up a little. And coming back to centre, stretching over towards the side of the body, lengthening up and through, bowing over, breathing into the side. And then just gently fold a little bit forwards here towards the leg. Keep stretching that arm through, then coming up to seated, coming over, stretching onto the other side. Deep breath into that area and exhale. And then allowing the body just to gently fold, keep stretching the arm through, folding forward towards the leg whilst you take a couple of breaths in this position as you're holding, and then gently coming up. And then we go into the neck, just opening out to one side, stretching through, adding just a couple of fingers if you need a little bit more of a stretch. And then gently coming up over to the other side. And again, just registering if there's a difference each side. You know, you might be tight a little bit more on your most dominant side when you're carrying your bags a lot of the time. Then coming up, head coming down and up. So not too far back, keeping the mouth closed. And then moving into a softer rotation. Side to side. And then coming back through to your centre. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.